Hey guys, how are you? Well, today we're going to talk a bit about operational security and how I say that professionals hack people and not systems, right? Well, for the ones that don't know me, I'm Pablito.eth. I do operational security research and trainings. I'm a SEAL 911 contributor. I also founded Opsek.io, where we do these audits and trainings on operational security, and I have the Blockchain Security Series podcast. Perhaps you heard about it. So, as Bruce Schneier says, professionals hack systems, amateurs hack systems, professionals hack people. And as Kevin Mitnick said, social engineering can bypass all technologies, including firewalls, right? So as today Peter was showing, most of the funds stolen in crypto, nearly 80%, are not due to smart contracts. We have gotten far better in smart contract security, but due to operational security issues, right? So today I'm going to share with you 5 stories, or perhaps 6, depending on the time we have, and some things I learned from them, right? So the first one, this is something that is perhaps known by most of you, but has a small twist. There have been lots of scams regarding scammers impersonating recruiters, VCs, and journalists, right? So this is an example of one I got, contacting me, saying, hey, we want to invest in your company. Very fast I realized this person was a scammer. How? Because I follow 3,500 security researchers, and no one was following with this account. So if that happens, for sure they are scammers. But I said, hey, let's continue this to have a bit of fun. We go to a Telegram channel. They said that they were from Eden Block VC. That's a real VC. And one of the guys told me, hey, for you to check that I am real and this is not a scam, go to our website and check. There you will have my profile, you will have my Twitter, and you will see that I have just followed you. So I go to the VC website, and I see the account linked. I go to the account, and I see that this person has just started following me, right? So I said, hey, what's happening here? We continued talking a bit. I got tired of this, but basically what had happened is that this guy, Yuan Duyev, the real founder from Eden Block, had changed his Twitter username. And when you change your Twitter username, your old username becomes available for anyone to register it, right? So scammers had seen that. They had taken the username, and they started impersonating him. What do they do after this? We all know it. You have 1 call, 2 calls, 3 calls, and after they have gained trust with you, saying that they are going to invest money if they are a VC, or they are going to offer you a job if they are recruiters, or they are going to give you something in Forbes or some media saying that they are journalists. You are in the 5th or 4th call. They tell you that your video doesn't work. Please download this platform or this another platform. You download that. As most of us use MacBooks, and we have that very stupid idea of, with MacBooks and macOS, there are no virus, no malware. We download anything, we install it, we are done, right? So what do we have to know from this? Today it's full of zero-day exploits. You all know zero-day exploits are exploits that are not, that exploit vulnerabilities that are not public. And we also have lots of zero-day, zero-click exploits, right? Exploits that can be sent to you. You don't have to do anything, and your computers are totally compromised. One that is very used in these cases, apart from sending you perhaps some platform to download which has an insider infected, is using PDFs that are infected. So it's very, very important if you use a Acrobat Reader to have it always updated to the last version. This is very common. Just by opening a PDF, you are totally compromised. And as some people don't believe me when I say this, you have many companies that buy this kind of exploits. For example, if you developed a zero-click, zero-day exploit for Android, you get paid $2.5 million, right? So there's a very big market for this. These exploits used to be bought by three-letter agencies, but now can be bought in the dark web for a bit of less money, so they are being used by threat actors. So we have to be very, very careful with this. And here we have, for example, a price proposal from Intelexa, that is a company that sells this kind of exploits, where you can see that you can compromise any Android or iPhone device up to date with the last update. You can compromise 10 devices for $10 million. So $1 million per device. So it depends on what you're protecting, how much you should spend in your security. One thing that is very important to think about this is they are targeting a lot of devs, right, and even security researchers. And something that is happening is that when a dev is compromised and he gets hacked, then they don't go and tell their bosses, hey, I was compromised yesterday because I was doing a series of interviews to go to another company. So it's very important to have a very transparent culture with our employees and our teams so that if this ever happens to someone, that person discloses it very fast, and we as a company can do what we have to do knowing that this person has been compromised, right? And the other thing to know is that 90% of these cases are not published, right? So we are just seeing a tip of the iceberg in Twitter or whatever when we see someone telling about these cases. So the second case is about social engineering, right? A bit more advanced, in my opinion. What happened here? We had a fund manager and a supposedly investor, right? That was a scammer. This investor contacted the fund manager and told him that he wanted to do a 3 million OTC operation. He didn't want to use any DEX, any smart contract, anything for the operation, but he proposed to use an escrow, right? And he proposed to Peter to use John as an escrow, someone that was very known in the ecosystem. So he said, hey, I trust John, and Peter was friends from John. So he said, hey, we can use John as an escrow, right? So John joins the Discord, and they say, okay, we are going to do this operation. We are going to send you the unknown investor is going to send the stable coins to John, and Peter is going to send the other tokens, and then John is going to send them the other way. What happened here? The supposed investor proposed to continue the conversation in Telegram, right? Not in Discord, for security purposes. And here comes the magic. What did he do? Instead of creating one Telegram channel with the three of them, he created two Telegram chats. In one, he was impersonating Peter, and in the other one, he was impersonating John, right? So what does he do next? They start talking, and he starts copying the conversations and the chats from one to the other, and from that one to this one. So John knows how Peter writes, and Peter knows how John writes, but when he sees the messages, he sees the exact same thing that Peter is saying in the other chat, right? So there's no doubt about nothing. They weren't thinking that they were going to be compromised or something. So what does it happen? They keep talking and talking, and in a moment, John informs his address for the transfer, and that's the only thing that the scammer changes here, right? John informs a fake address. So what happens next? Peter would have transferred, and they would have lost everything, right? But what happened here, luckily, or not so luckily, they had thought about this. For these kind of operations, they have a second channel where they confirm everything, right? In this case, it was WhatsApp. So they talked in WhatsApp. He's saying, hey, this is the address where I should send you the funds, right? And he said, no, this is not the address. What's happening? And there they realized about this scam. But when I saw this, really, I said I could have fallen victim of this. It's getting far more sophisticated every day. So third case, domain hijacks. This is happening a lot. Some weeks ago, Athena Labs had their Twitter compromised. We all saw this. They had it configured, registered with domain.com, and domain.com did not even have the possibility to have 2FA for authentication, right? It was just username and password. But in this case, what happened? The support was social engineered, right? Another case, EtherFi. They also had their account hacked. How was this done? Through social engineering the support. So how are they social engineering the supports with fake IDs? We're going to see a bit about that. And also with SIM swapping, right? This is very, very common. We talked about this 1,000 times, but it keeps on happening a lot. And regarding this, I did a bit of research, right? I said, OK, I think that the operational security in crypto is one of the worst operational security standards that we have worldwide. Like, we're the worst industry, I think. But I said, OK, let's check security companies, right? So I have a database of 350 security companies and products from the ecosystem. That's us. And I checked, for example, where we have registered our domains, right? So 25% use GoDaddy, right? Us. GoDaddy domains can be hijacked in 3 days, right? And I say that because we tried that, and we could do it with a client, obviously, right? Then 20% Namecheap, the same. 7% Squarespace. Approximately 70% of domains of security companies can be hijacked in less than a week, right? And it must not be done by someone that is super sophisticated. No, it can be done by any kid, as Peter was saying in his being a teenager. So what kind of registers should we be using for this? Cloudflare, AWS, Mark Monitor, for example. And something that is also very important is for this kind of accounts, for example, for registrars, it's important to use cold email accounts, right? A cold email account is an account that you have really secure, that is not public, and you don't use for anything else, and you don't have logged in your computer during your daily use. And also using YubiKeys for 2FA, right? Not 2FA with applications. Now we are going to talk a bit more about that. Fourth case, Twitter phishing, or why we should stop using 2FA with applications like Opsek or Microsoft Authenticator. What happened here, this is from some weeks ago. You receive an email at 3 a.m. saying that there was a login in your Twitter account from North Korea or Russia or whatever. This is obviously a phishing, but if you look at it from your phone, it's very easy to fall for it because it goes directly to the inbox. It's not detected by Gmail phishing detection system. You get to this website. For this example, I changed the username in the URL for my Twitter account. So it asks you for your password. If you put, the first time you put your password, it says that it's incorrect, but I don't know why they do this. Next time you put it, it asks you for your 2FA, right? And when you put your 2FA here, in real time, it's being proxied to Twitter. So your account is gone, even if you use 2FA with app, or if you are using YubiKeys with the OTP mode, the traditional YubiKeys use, that can be phished, and your account is totally gone. So in this example, I put a code. You are logged in here, and here you have some options, and you can click on some things. But in this moment, your account is gone. And as we know, if you don't have a contact inside Twitter, there's no way to recover your account. It's very, very difficult. So some things for this. We have said this like 500 times, but in SEAL 911, we keep on seeing like lots of accounts being hijacked because of using SMS for 2FA. So please remove your phone number from everywhere. And if you are in some platform where you have to use your mobile phone because it's mandatory as 2FA, don't use your public number, your public phone number. You have to think that any day you're going to go wake up and it has been SIM swapped, right? So you shouldn't put it anywhere. You should use a cold virtual phone number, right? From Skype, Google Fi, or Airalo, and keep it private. Don't let anyone know that that's your phone number. Also, as I was saying, if we use normal 2FA from applications or from the YubiKeys, the traditional TOTP from YubiKeys, that can be phished, right? Because we touch a YubiKey, the YubiKey sends a code, and that code is proxied to the real website through the phishing website, and our account is gone. So when we use YubiKeys, we should configure something called FIDO2 or U2F, And when you do that, every time that you use your YubiKey with a website, it validates that the website you are sending the signature to is the real website, right? So this cannot be phished. If you have your YubiKey and you download the YubiKey Authenticator, there you will be able to disable the OTP function, that is the unsecure one, and use FIDO2 or FIDO U2F. And also, one more thing that I added here, 1Password added the possibility of saving 2FA in 1Password. I think it's the most stupid thing they did as a product. It's like, it's not a feature, it's definitely a bug. So it's obvious that we should not save 2FAs in the same place that we save our passwords, right? So, story number 5, Twitter account takeovers. Even if you have your Twitter account configured in the best way, it's very easy for that account to be taken over. How? Here's an example. This was published by Athena like 1 week ago. An attacker attempted to take over their account, and they did it with social engineering, right? What did they do? They contacted Twitter support, saying that they wanted to buy more ads. There, with that first call, they got information about their account manager. Then they targeted the account manager, right, using information from that first contact, saying that they wanted to change the account access. And for that, they used forged IDs, right, and forged company documents. Luckily, as Athena had a premium X account, if you're a protocol, you should have a premium X account. They are, I think, like $2,000 yearly. They contacted them and they said, hey, is this account change real? And there they could validate it was not real, so the change was not done. But if they hadn't had the premium account, they would have their account totally hacked. So basically what they did there, they locked down the account and they were secure. So important things regarding this is a very long text, but because you will have this presentation then, it's important to have verification protocols with your account managers, right, from X. And if you have this premium support for your account, you will have many more features that will allow to have your account far more securely. Implement multi-factor authentication and change it like every 3 or 6 months, and conduct routine security audits, right? And the other thing to know about this is that there are also lots of Twitter accounts takeovers due to insiders, right? You can do the best thing that you can, but for really important accounts, there have been many that have been taken over with insiders. People working at Twitter, changing the emails from the account, disabling 2FA or whatever. So in your plans, you should know, if you're a big protocol, that any day that account could be hacked. So you must know before that happens what you will do that day, right? Exactly who you will contact, etc. So how do they do this kind of stuff for social engineering? For example, with IDs. There are platforms where for $20 or $15, you can create a fake ID from any country. Like this is software as a service. It has a very, very good support. And you can, example, say, OK, I want an ID from Argentina, this type of ID with this name, this year, this, and that, and the photograph that you want. And you can create any ID from any country. And these IDs, they can go for 90% of the KYCs that are out there, and they go with no issue. This is very, very dangerous because basically they can impersonate any of us. And well, the last one that I wanted to show you is also about social engineering and malware, right? This happened some weeks ago to 2 persons, DeFi Sard and one more guy. He was basically contacted by someone saying that was from Parafi Capital, that they wanted to do some collaboration, whatever. he wanted to verify that it was a real account, so he checked his followers, and he was saying that the other founders from Parafai Capital were following this account, so he said this is real, but what happened here, all those accounts that were verified were all scammers also, right? I mean, having the verified blue check in Twitter, it doesn't mean anything. In fact, the only people who get some profit from paying this are scammers, right? So it's very logical to pay for this if you're a scammer. So the next thing is that they invited him to a Telegram channel, they offered some things, and they said, hey, come to this Slack channel where we can continue talking, and we can introduce you to our clients. When he went to this Slack channel, he got a server error, right? And as we can see here, the real invites for Slack are like join.slack.com, and this was app.slack.com. But what happened after this? He had that error, and they told him, hey, yes, this happened last week to someone, and we found the way to fix it here. And they sent him a link from Reddit, and this link had lots of abouts, lots of comments, this, and that, and it explained in detail how this should be fixed. So he went to, in part of this, it said that you had to go to this website to update some driver. He went to this website, checked for updates, downloaded the driver, and obviously it was malware, gone. So about this, it's very common for security researchers or people in crypto to not use antivirus, not use firewalls, not use anything, because we say, no, we are sophisticated, we won't click any link, we won't download anything. I do not believe that. I don't know if you know Objective-C, but Objective-C is a foundation that develops many products, many security products for macOS. One of them is called Task Explorer. This will check all the tasks that are running in your computer with VirusTotal, and if you have something infected, it will detect it. Then you have Lulu, that is a firewall. So basically, if you are ever infected, when the malware tries to steal information from your computer, this will stop it. And then you have Knock Knock and Block Block, that basically what they do is they allow you to detect malware that has been installed persistently, right? These tools are very, very good. I recommend to have them all. And I also recommend, this is something that most of the security researchers don't agree with, but I think that we should all use antivirus. Like some people say, oh, no, but you use Kaspersky, it's Russian, or you use Malwarebytes, and you must give too many permissions to this antivirus, and they could have complete control of my computer. I never knew anything, or that's my experience, that had an issue because of installing antivirus, but I knew thousands of people that had issues because of not installing them, right? This I will show it a bit fast, but something also very important is that there are lots of targeted phishing, very targeted phishing. For example, this one in ETH Denver was EtherFi Eventbrite account was hacked, and 1 hour before the event, they sent a message to everyone going to the event saying that you had to mint your NFT pass and the link, and the amount of people that got wrecked there was terrible. Then the same thing happened to Trezor when they hacked their newsletter system, and they sent an email from Trezor that was validated from their servers and everything, but it was fake. And they are also doing this when they mix databases, for example, from the Ledger Leak, CoinMarketCap, or other crypto newsletter or systems, and they then use that to target us. So the important thing to know about this is that the attack can and will come from a trusted source, right? It's not that it will come from an email that seems to come from Trezor, but it will come from an email that is really, really Trezor. So we have to be very, very careful with this. Well, lastly, some things that I recommend also for conferences. There are many people that have been robbed or hacked during conferences, right? So some things that I recommend. First of all, this is not for conferences, but for physical security. Storing seed phrases in paper is something that is always difficult because you store it in some place and you don't know, hey, could someone have gone there and seen it? If you use these anti-tampering bags, they are very, very cheap. You can put your seed phrase there, and if anyone ever wants to see that, they will have to break it, basically. So this is a very simple and, in my opinion, secure way to store them. Then hotel rooms, I think it's very important. More if you are the founder of a big DeFi protocol, or you are a signer for an important multi-sig or a security council or whatever, physical attacks could happen. So whenever I leave my hotel room, I use this free app called Alfred Camera. You can turn any old phone into a security camera. You leave it there, and if someone goes into your room, you will get a notification, and it will be recorded in the moment. Very, very easy to do. And the last one is Faraday bags. Basically, I always bring this to conferences. You can put your computer, your phone, or any electronic device inside here, and there's no chance that it will be hacked during that moment. So to finish, some things that I'm really convinced of, but most people do not agree with me. Eventually, we are all going to fall for a phishing. We are going to click a phishing link eventually. Like people say, no, I'm sophisticated, I don't click anything, whatever. We will. Eventually, we will click on a phishing link. So that's why it's important to have, for example, a 2FA with a YubiKey. Eventually, we are all going to be social engineered too, right? And eventually, we are all going to download some malware in some moment. We are going to do it. So that's why I think it's important to have tools like antivirus or task manager or a firewall to stop that. And the last thing, as Peter was saying, threat actors are closer than we think, right? I am convinced that some of them are even sitting in this conference room right now. So we should be very, very careful with the information we share and with the things we do in every place, more importantly and more specifically in crypto conferences. So that's it. Many thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Pablo. Time for one or two questions. If anyone has any.
Do you have your phone in the Faraday bag right now?
Sorry?
Do you have your phone in your Faraday bag right now? Like, do you always carry it around with you?
Yeah, I have it there in my.
I'm impressed.
It's small. It doesn't. It's.
Sorry, mine's a trolling question too. I've got this really big airdrop that I gotta get right now, and all of these different, protocols and procedures that you put in front of me are preventing me from getting in my airdrop. I'm like making up an example use case, right, of when I might want to be able to initiate a transaction immediately on chain, right? But all of these different, processes that you're putting in place is slowing that down, right?
Why?
Why?
Why are these tools preventing you from getting the airdrop? I didn't get that.
Because I want to do it quickly. I want to get it rapidly. Let's say that there's a specific NFT drop that I have to get before it all sells out, right? Happens all the time. In your examples that you've kind of shown us right now, there are a lot of sort of steps that I need to take to make sure that I'm secure. How do we get to a world where I can get whatever my mint is as fast as possible while also remaining secure?
I mean, most of this stuff can be done before. Like if you invest good time in having a secure environment and having a good Opsek, from that moment on, you will be able to operate in a more secure way. But even when you have that, I think that trying to do things fast is the best way to be hacked, to be social engineered, and to lose money, because usually they leverage from that, right? Like this airdrop is right now, and you try to do things right now. I prefer to do things a bit more slower, but to keep my capital, basically. And the other things for airdrops and all that is to try to compartmentalize, right? To have many different wallets, different browsers, different users, as a minimum 2 computers, and with that, you also make it more difficult to be hacked. But anyways, I think that you can do things pretty fast, but paying attention. If you try to do it fast and you're tired and it's late and you're doing it from your cell phone in the car, perhaps you're going to be wrecked.
Okay.
OK, thank you.
Everyone, please give a big hand for Pablo.